Hi, I'm Joe, and you're in Joe's Kitchen. Thanks for coming along. We've got an exciting dish we're going to put together today, and it's going to include all these chili peppers. And I'll tell you all about that as we go along. But if you've watched one of my other videos, I made chili Colorado. Well, this is going to be kind of a fusion of that and our standard chili with a little twist of my own in it. So we're going to have a little chuck roast, a little ground beef, and chili peppers, and a whole lot of other stuff. So without further ado, let's get to it.
We're gonna eat, we're gonna eat, we're gonna eat and eat. We're gonna eat and eat, we're gonna eat and eat. Welcome to Joe's Kitchen, yeah, we're gonna eat. That's right.
All right, well, let's get started, right? By the way, I'm going to call this chili Boss Chili. It's the boss of all chilies, because I don't think it has a name. But like I said, it's a fusion. I'm taking components of chili Colorado and components of like a traditional chili that here in America we are fond and familiar with. And I'm mixing them to make a more robust boss chili. And it's going to start with chili peppers. And I'll tell you what I have here. We have the ancho chili. It almost looks like an oversized raisin. We got the guajillo. And those two peppers are going to add flavor, a lot of flavor to this dish, and the chili flavor. And then we'll have the arbol chili. And this is going to add the heat. Now I'm doing 5 anchos, and I'm doing 5 guajillo, and I'm doing 5 arbol. Now, if you don't want it as hot, eliminate this entirely, or just maybe 1 or 2 or 3. But if you want it hotter, you might go up as many as 10. Just, you know, be cautious. You know, if you haven't done it before, just try a little lower, and next time increase it if you want. Anyhow, this is the arbol. I've already cut and de-seeded most of these, as you can see. The seeds are out of them, stems are cut off, and the ancho right there, and the arbol right there. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I usually have a bowl to discard the seeds in. It just makes it less messy. And let's start with the ancho. I'm just going to cut the top off there. And let me just cut the top off of all of them. I already cut the top off the arbol. Put those in there. And then with a pair of kitchen shears, simply just cut down the seam there like this. Try to get the full length if you can, or as close to it. And then you simply just open it up. Most of the seeds will drop out. You might want to get that little stem out of there. As you can see, the little rib. Take that out. And that one's done. Now, put that aside. And right now I have this pan here, this Dutch oven, preheating. And we're going to toast these. You want to toast them to get the aromas out. And we're at 350 basically, so that's good timing. So I'm just going to drop them all in there. And you're just warming them up. You know, you don't have to brown them or anything. So I'm just going to swirl them around, flip them over back and forth. Maybe get a closer look at this. That one I didn't de-seed, or did I? Oh, I did. That's just that pieces there. I'm going to pull that out. All right, there we go. And you know, it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but you can see the steam coming off. They're already dry, so there's not much moisture in them at all. And I'm just going to roll them around a little bit. Just let them toast up until I can start smelling the fragrance of those chili peppers. It only takes like 1 to 3 minutes on a medium-high heat. And I think that's going to do it. I'm going to cut that heat off, and I'm going to put them over here, and we'll prepare the next step. So stay with us. All right, well, we'll continue on. This will take quite a few series of steps, so bear with us. Our next step is we're going to take our chuck roast, and this is chuck roast. It's about a little over 2.5 pounds. I don't need all that, so I'm going to cut some of it off. Let me just make a decision here, and I'll take this much off. I'll put that in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to freeze that. I'll use that some other time. Get the air out. There we go. Put that in the freezer. And then we got our chuck roast. Now I want to cut that into cubes, and then I'm going to salt it. So first thing I'm going to do is it's awful thick, so I'm going to cut it in half, like so. Try to stay in the center, just like so. And there we go. Now I'm going to cut it into strips, and I'll do the other half on my own time, but I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to line them up like that and cut them in about 1-inch cubes. You know, whatever size you want to have. That's going to be nice and tender when it's all done in this whole process. So I'm going to do this other half, and then we'll come back and salt it. All right, as you can see, we've got the chuck roast all cubed up. Nice there. And I'm going to salt it. Just to let you know, the original roast, like I said, was over 2.5 pounds, about 2.6. So this is probably somewhere between 1.5 to 1.75 pounds. A little more than what the recipe calls for, but I like it hearty, so that's fine. Put as much or less as you like. By the way, the recipe will be in the description. If you're looking for it, there it will be. So I'm going to add some salt. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a little salt there. Use this hand to kind of spread them down a little bit. And then just a little salt. Roll them around a little bit. Toss them around. Try to get both sides. There we go. When you're done salting it, get down dirty and just kind of mix it up. And we're going to put that aside for when it's ready to come into the recipe. All right. All right. Well, so our chili peppers have been toasted, and we'll put them in the waiting room. And our chuck roast has been cubed and salted, and that's in the refrigerator waiting room. Now it's time to start working on the broth, and we're going to actually rehydrate these peppers with that broth. So let's get started. So I've already done some of the hard work. This is 2 onions chopped. This is roughly 6 cloves of garlic chopped. I think I did 7. You kind of give or take depending on how big those cloves are. Just make your decisions accordingly. And this is 3 tomatoes diced up. And the reason I have these in 2 bowls, the onions and the garlic, is half the onion that's in the recipe and half the garlic that's in the recipe is going to be used later. So I'm going to put those in the refrigerator here in a bit for when that's needed again. So we're going to start with the onions, garlic, tomato, and all this other stuff. So we got a pan over here, again preheating. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Let's see where we're at. That's about 150, 160. Let it kick up a little bit more. And I'm going to add some olive oil to that pan. And we're going to start off by browning these onions once it reaches a nice hot temp. We're at 230, 40, climbing, so that's good. I want a medium-high heat, and once it reaches that temperature, I'm looking for about 350 before I drop those onions in. So we're at 300 right now. We're almost there. Let's check that oil. We're at 350 now. We're close enough. And that's the sound you want to hear. And we're just going to get a spoon to kind of stir that around. Get a hot pad. Because this bowl's a little warped on the bottom, so it likes to spin around like a merry-go-round. So I got to kind of hold the handle sometimes and stir that around. And we're looking for those onions to get translucent. Get a closer look at what's going on there. Looks like there's a couple chili seeds still sitting there, but that's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. All right, well, I think the onions are right where I need them. So we're going to take a closer look. You can see them, they're browning a little bit, they're caramelizing, and they're turning a little more yellow or translucent. And so we're going to continue this process here. The next thing that's going to go in is going to be our diced tomatoes. We're going to put that right in there, like so. Stir that around a little bit. Then we're going to go in with our tomato paste, like so. Now, if you remember the chili Colorado I did, had no tomatoes in it. Ooh, there's baby the cat. But this is a fusion version, and it will have tomatoes in it, as you can tell. I'm trying to get all that paste out there. It's just hard to get it. I think I got it good enough. Stir it up a little bit. Oh no, that's a disaster. Okay, let's put it like that. Go back to using a spoon. There's always a plan B, right? And if that doesn't work, there needs to be a plan C. All right, so I'm going to stir that in real good right now. And I'm going to get that paste mixed with those tomatoes and onions. And I'm looking for that paste to kind of turn a darker red, a deeper red. And that's going to give it a nice, strong flavor. And you can see what I'm doing here. And that's going to take a few minutes to cook down, but I'm going to add the garlic at this point too. And then we're going to wait till the garlic, you can smell the fragrance of the garlic. And that's when it's really ready to ring. And we're mixing that in with the tomatoes, onions, paste. Not Colgate or Crest, it's tomato. 5 out of 5 dentists recommend not using tomato paste as toothpaste. One thing you can see on the bottom here is what we call the fond, and that's what's getting cooked down on there. We're going to see that again when we brown off the meat, and that'll go in the flavors. You want to make sure you get that kind of scraped up as you're going along there. All right, so now we're going to add our beef broth. It's a brief broth because it's not as much as full broth. I don't know. No, it's a one container. Anyhow, we're going to pour that right in. I think that's 32 ounces. 1 quart. We'll get all that in there. And what we want to do now, can't get the cap on. We're going to stir it. And actually I need to reconstruct the spatula here. Let me get it in there. It's so easy to come off and it doesn't want to go in. All right, that's good enough. I just want to get everything off the sides of this bowl so that it gets down in the broth there. And we're going to bring this broth to a boil. Shouldn't take too long. We'll go ahead and turn it up. Turn it up. And once it comes to a boil, we're going to kick it off. And that's when these chilies are going to take a bath. So, oh, it's starting to boil now, right in the center. That's good enough for me because these are going to sit in this bath. Turn off the heat. These are going to sit in the bath for 30 minutes. We're going to infuse their flavors with the other flavors. And they're going to also soften up and rehydrate. We're going to put the cover on this thing. Right here. And leave that on there for 30 minutes. Let's set our timer. I want to apologize for the mishap with the spatula. It won't happen again, I promise. All right, add to cart and complete transaction. All right. Oh, sorry. I was just making a purchase for a new spatula. Anyhow, sorry about that. Anyways, we're moving forward. We got the meat resting. It's been resting. Wake up. You're going to be needed pretty soon. All right, we're going to look at this broth. And so, yeah, come take a closer look, I guess. And I'm going to open up that so the steam goes out in the back there, and you can see what it looks like. Let me put this aside, and let's take a look at these peppers. So now they're all soft, not rigid, they're rehydrated, and all their flavors have melted into that broth, and all the broth flavors are melting into those peppers, and it's going to be a magical marriage of flavorings. And now we're going to move forward. I've got the food processor right here, but what I'm going to do with the food processor first is I'm going to get some of those peppers out of there because they'll splatter if I don't. So we're going to drop those into the food processor. We're going to blend all this, pulverize it, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to get those peppers out first just because I don't want it to splatter. I think that's a good idea, isn't it? What do you think? Okay, see? Yeah, that's a good idea. 100% consensus there. All right, we're going to put those aside. Bring those peppers over here because I got a feeling I might splatter some here. So I'm going to put it over the sink, and I'm going to pour that into the processor. And hopefully it fits. Oh yeah, it looks good. Let me get the broken spatula. I'll be right back. When the next spatula arrives, we'll give this one a proper burial. There we go. We'll get all that out of there. There we go. Look at that. Smelling good. Oh, I'm going to put that back over here because we're ready for another step. Now that's going to wait a minute or two. I'll just put it back on the. Oh yeah, we have to blend it first. I forgot. Okay, here we go. Putting it in that food processor, and I'm going to start off on like a pulse. Oh, got to plug it in. Let's start with a pulse. Just kind of break it down a little bit. Make sure it's, and then we're going to puree. And I want to get that, see there's chunks, I want to get that really finely pureed. So I'll let that run a little while. May take a minute or two. Let's check it. Imagine baby the cat is under the bed now. Yeah, there's still some chunks in there. I'm going to mix it some more. I'm not going to keep you here for that, but I'm going to mix it some more. I'm going to preheat this Dutch oven because we're getting ready to brown the meat. That should be about right. And now we're going to add a little bit of spice to it. And when I say spice, I just mean seasonings. So we have 3 teaspoons of cumin. I'm going to sprinkle that around. And I've got 2 teaspoons of oregano. Okay. And then we're going to add salt and pepper to taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit right now, and when the chili is finally finished, I'll taste it and decide if I need to add more. So a little salt. I mean, you can always add more with the shaker, right? There we go. There's some pepper. Pepper. There we go. And we're going to blend that up one more time. Let's preheat the skillet. I'm going to put it on a medium high again. Well, let's go a little higher than medium high. Somewhere between medium high and high. High, high, high. Here we go. That should be mixed up good, right? Okay. So we'll leave that on the side. We'll unplug. And take this top off. Let it rest there for a few minutes while we're working on this here. All right, so we've been checking the temperature, and it's pushing 350 to 400, so depends on where I aim it. So I'm going to add a little olive oil. Do that. And swirl that around a little bit. And it is ready for the meat. So we're going to put the meat in. Now you could do this in batches. I think this will all fit in there fine. It's a nice big Dutch oven. So I'm going to put this all in at once. I'm going to break that apart. Spread it apart so it's all one layer. They're not stacked on top of each other. And come on in and see that as best you can. I'll let that cook on one side for a little bit. And I'm going to, shouldn't take long. It's nice and hot. I think I'm getting my new spatula in a couple days. Just in time for the next video. So I'm going to turn these around now. Oh yeah, look at that. That's exactly what we're looking for. You see it? Alright. Boom, boom. And it's going to take a second or two to flip them all over. Alright. Yeah, come on in and take a closer look at that. That's looking really good. We'll leave it on that side for another 30 seconds. You're probably asking, what about all that stuff on the bottom of the pan, Joe? See that stuff on the bottom of the pan? You gonna leave it like that? Of course not. We're gonna do something special. You just wait. It's coming up real soon. I don't know if you've been counting. Has it been 30 seconds? Put it in the comments. Let me know if it's been 30 seconds. That way I know what to do next. Alright, here we go. We're just gonna rough that up. I'm going to try to scrape that bottom and get that. Come on over. Take a look at this. Why are you being shy? Get on over here. Now, I won't get everything, but I'm going to get a lot of it. And I'm going to move those around. Like I said, we're not cooking these. We're just browning them. I think we're ready for the next step. And you know what the next step is? You already guessed it. We're going to add this. We're going to get this blade out of the way first. Why can't I get the blade out? Oh, there it goes. Try to get most of that stuff off of there. And this could splatter. It's probably going to immediately go to a boil, so I'm going to reduce that temperature ASAP. I'm dripping all over the place. There we go. I feel like I'm on the top of a volcano. There we are. We're going to stir that in. Just like so. So we've got to let it bring to a boil, but it's already there, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm going to clean up this mess here in a second. I'm going to shift that back to the back burner because the back burner tends to simmer a lot better than the front burner. So I got that on a low simmer. We're going to cover that. Now I'm going to clean up this mess. Come take a closer look at this mess. You think I had it on hot enough? All right. Anyways, we're going to set a timer for 2 hours. Whoa, wait, there's one more thing we got to do. Oh, we can't forget this. This is banging flavor right here, folks. That's going right in. That lid's hot. Dropping those right in. Going to kind of stir those in a little bit. Here we are. Come back in 2 hours. All right, well, it hasn't been exactly 2 hours yet. And, you know, you can cook it longer if you want. I mean, longer the better. But we got 21 minutes left. It's been simmering. I did add a little water to it. Just, you know, I tasted it a little bit just to see if the seasonings or spices need to be changed or added. And it seemed the flavor was great. The heat, I probably could have put a couple more of those chili arbols in, actually, because I would like more heat, but it does have a bite. It has a good bite. And so I added the water. It's been simmering. It's still got 20 minutes, but we're going to start this next process, which is the ground beef. Pan's nice and hot. We have grass-fed ground beef, 1 pound. We're going to start with a little olive oil in the pan, as we always do, just like so. And oh, where's the spatula? Oh, I don't have one. so I have to improvise. We'll use a turner. So we're going to put the onions in first. Put those onions in. Always hear that sizzle. You know, when you're sauteing, the first step is to heat the pan. Always heat the pan. Make sure the pan's hot. Second step is to add the olive oil or whatever fat you're going to put in there. And then the ingredients, however it's going to be. So this is cooking up nice. It's got a nice temperature. I'm going to cook those onions down a little bit. We're going to add the yellow peppers now. That's for color and a little bit for flavor. Just like so. And we're going to cook those down till the onions are more translucent and the peppers get a little blistering on them. Then we'll add our garlic and our ground beef. This could take a few minutes, so we'll bring you back. All right, come take a quick look at this. The peppers are browning up, the onions browning up. There's blistering going on. Looks pretty good to me. Now we're going to add the garlic. And that's half of the garlic that's in the recipe. So roughly 3 to 4 cloves. There we go. Not going to cook that very long on this high heat. Just getting that fragrant out. Oh, I can smell it already almost. Alright, so we're going to add the ground beef. 1 pound of ground round. That's grass-fed. Going to break that down. I want it slightly chunky, so I'm going to be careful not to make it too fine, but you know, if it comes out fine, that's fine. Fine, fine, fine. But we're going to try to get it chunky. We'll mix those veggies in there with that meat. I want you to see this a little closer. You can see there's still some pink. Like I said, I don't want it cooked all the way. It's a bit chunky, which is good. That's what I want. It's going to keep cooking a little bit more in here. It'll be fine. So at this point, I'm going to cut off this heat. And we're going to move this forward. And there it is. The base for this. Now I might want to drain a little bit of the grease. There we go. And then I'm going to add that right into the sauce. Just like so. They say the sauce is the boss. No, Joe's chili's the boss. This is going to be kicking. And we're going to stir that in with the chuck roast. It's been simmering for a while. Let's take a peek at that. I'll give you some nice use of it. It's going to be so meaty and hearty. Flavors are going to be powing. It's going to be great. So we're going to put that back on the simmer. Before we do so, we're going to add half a cup of Masa De Harina, or some kind of cornmeal. That's going to give it a little thickening, and it's also going to give it that nice earthy corn taste. And there we go. We're just mixing that in. It's going to work right into that sauce, and it's going to be delicious. Trust me on this. All right, we're going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes. We'll add the beans. We'll be almost there. We're going to add these beans, but first we got to drain them, right? We got red beans, black beans, and Cannelli beans. A little bit of color, a little bit of flavor. We'll drop them in a colander. And the Cannelli. Now I'm not going to rinse these. I'm just going to shake those juices off because I kind of like the flavors there from that respect. So we're just going to take that back over to the chili very quickly. Drop it in. And stir it up. Take a look at that. All those different colors. The chunky meat, the ground beef, the beans, all those chili peppers blending into a nice flavor. You gotta let those beans heat up. It's gonna take about 5 to 10 minutes. And don't forget we have bay leaves in here. I found one, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that at this point. If I find another one, I'll take that out also. But let's let it warm up a little bit more, then we'll plate it up. All right, here we go. We're gonna finish this thing, all right? The beans have been cooking 5 to 10 minutes. I'll kill the timer. And I want you to get a closer look over here. I want you to get a closer look over here. Okay, so the manager said that he had pressure from his district manager to reduce labor hours, so he sent the dishwasher home early. Guess who's got to do them? I don't think it's right. I'm here to cook. We'll take care of that later. I'll take one for the team. Anyways, I got the bay leaves out. All right, there's 2 of them. It was 2, right? Was it 2? It was 2. Okay, it's 2. And we're going to vent it like so. We're going to stir that up a little bit before we serve. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Perfect thickness. Look at the meatiness of it. Holy cow. The boss chili, folks. The boss chili. It's the boss of all chili right here. Win any contest. Hasn't yet, but maybe it will. And we're going to put some in a bowl. Get a little brothiness going on there. A little bit more. That ground beef, that chuck roast, those 3 beans. And we're going to top it off with a little Greek yogurt right there. All right. Proofs in the pudding, or in this case, the boss chili. Get some of that meat. Oh my gosh. Zoom in on that. That is amazing. Just the look of it and the smell of it. Man overboard. Hot diggity dog. Holy cow. Those the popping flavors of chili Colorado mixed with the traditional American chili. Oh my gosh. Full of flavor. Hearty, great for a cool night. And here in Central Florida, it's been rather cool lately, so this is gonna be great. I got a lot of chili here. We're gonna have some dinner tonight. We're gonna freeze some of it, and we'll have chili for other cold nights. But we're gonna take a little of our cornbread. That was delicious cornbread. Put it in that juice. Slop it in there. Can't help myself. Hang in there. Pee-rific. That is pee-rific. This is going to make a great coupling. Great meal. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for staying along. It's been a long time, long journey, but well worth it. When I cook, I can cook like very quick and easy for a quick night, or I could spend some time and make something very delicious. And this is what we did. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And until next time, enjoy food.
We're gonna eat, we're gonna eat, we're gonna eat and eat. We're gonna eat and eat. We're gonna eat and eat. Welcome to Joe's Kitchen, yeah, we're gonna eat. That's right.